I think there's now a big fire up here. Jump into the abyss. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Who is Amy? Let's look at the fire again. Just says the same thing. Let's go talk to this Amy person. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interest at heart, while really, you're in love with the young woman as well. And so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. Who is this woman? I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus, steaming up the windows. What were you doing with the thesaurus? That poor thesaurus. I bet it's all stuck together now. Not sure you should be listening to this, kid. I'm not listening. But of course it couldn't last. You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction. And then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester. Debugging. In my off hours, I played around with a doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Lexington. Cannot talk today. Old man! A woman in a tattered cardigan looks furtively at the other people around the fire. Interesting. The fire's just going to say the same thing, isn't it? Yes. Pilots. Yep. Let's go talk to the old man. Donald puffs on a smouldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Softly. Where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that song? Oh, you've caught a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In an old Kentucky where my love a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all just meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is... What were we talking about? What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively. And in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused-based transistor circuitry? The mold would burn up. Exactly! It burns, and oh, the sweet smoke that issues from it. But it also leaves a sticky residue to seep through the machine, forming new connections and creating new circuits. This is not how computers work. This guy is actually mental. The computer is no longer the pure domain of language or mathematics, but entropy. Oh god, no, not entropy. The memes. The memes. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings! But we are mere tourists in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels. Boundless and bare, the caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? I'm just interested in the mold computer. The mold computer. Oh, Xanadu! You've heard about it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, literary multitude, hypertextual narrative as post-structural witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something, and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. What a strange, strange fucking man. Andrew! Andrew! Come talk to me. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space? The one we're standing in now. Kind of spooky, but I'm not scared. Spooky for a baby. I think we'd all agree that's a fair assessment. How could... Wait. Let's unpack that for a moment. What makes it spooky? No, how do you know it's spooky? Or would be spooky for a baby? The shadows. Sure, that's... But they're not just shadows, right? I mean, they could be their projections, or maybe their anatomies. How's that? Can you tell where we are now? Surrounded by creeping anatomies? Creeping anatomies. Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Only if you close yours. Okay. I can do it from memory. Good. Now, you are standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Phone, please, I'm busy. Oh, here again. How disappointing. What are all these computers for? Computers? Oh, now I remember. I was writing on them. I described a cave. That was my job. Describe the cave. There's a great history of caves in the literature, don't you know? The walls are frozen rivers of orange stone. Isn't that vivid? I had a lot to live up to. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. And I've put in the hours, believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. You are all a bunch of fucking weirdos. I'm sorry, I know it's a bit rude, but you are. A massive gate constructed out of the scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. Roberta, you're new. The kingdom is in peril! Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. What do they look like? She's messing with you, kid. Roberta laughs. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. And then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, Rubbed leathering elbows with academics. Scraped black mold from the cave walls. Finally. Now I carry the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. And so shit just gets weirder. Let's have a look at Xanadu. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. A closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine, humming faintly. An electric typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. Aha, let's do something with it. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. It has a run key. Act 3, Scene 6. Xanadu. Oh, that's cool. It's just on the screen. On this thing, it's got the... I don't know what you call it. The mouse pointer artifacts. But out here, there's nothing. That's good. At Den of Hard? Hero? At Den of Ardo. Okay, I just looked at my screen for it. There, gathered Ha! This thing is in a rough shape. Oh my god, I need to turn that down a bit. There we go. Try blowing on it. Conway blows some dust off the keyboard and presses the return key. And okay, that's worse. Try typing help. That's agony. Oh dear. In bleed out. In bled quit. Okay. In bed quilt. You are in bed quilt. Hello, east-west passage with something very wee. Oh man, this noise. Tell me if that's too loud for you, by the way. And I'll turn the game volume down. But it is fairly low as it is at the moment. Off and Lula remove the computer. It's like the worst game of Wheel of Fortune. That's and doing so. Oh, I don't know. That's see everything. Did that say Lula? This is not useful. I've got the machine and the easy is separate by the weed from the school. If you type the scissors in the butt, my Victoria won't eat. Type on. Alright, yep. Seth has the slate and the tap is cards he and scribed. The fripper and the reader. Good lord. A young retweets this whole Sirac holding. Could be a little quieter. Yep, I can fix that. I can fix that. Because it's a loud fucking part. There we go. This should be hopefully... I know it's off now, but yeah, I'm just going to go back into the... There we go. That should be a little bit better for you. Oh, I have my portable degausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along with whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it until it's uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyway. Like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. So am I just... Okay. Hall of the Mountain King. Mountain Gink. Hall of the Mountain Gink. Hall of the Mountain Gink. After Void BR, you stupid tunnel in the culture tape. Okay. Well, okay. That's exactly my reaction. Salt it in the ceiling and get the crates she center of the Nosadok. Is where you see Pureman. Pre-theater end of file, press any key to quit. Alright. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. Oh, the noise is over. Oh, the noise is over. I'm going to turn it up just a tiny bit again. So that any bits that require lower levels of hearing. Act 3, Scene 7. I can't read Roman numerals. Hall of the Mountain King. Okay. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Oh, please don't make me go back to the Xanadu machine again. Let's go to Donald. I mean, I love this cave. This is a cool-ass cave. But that machine was horrific. There we go. Donald! So, you've seen it for yourself, what's left of it. Pretty busted. The chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But can you see what it once was? But you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There was so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs. Never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula is gone from here, but... Donald points across the cape with his pipe. Still in there. In Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damned tangled highway. But Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle. A shrine to perfect simulation. Until... But maybe... Those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them, to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees, from rock to crystal and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe. Are you smoking mold? That's not okay. And a few dreams left. Don't smoke mold, kids. Don't smoke anything, really, but if you're gonna smoke something, don't smoke mold. Act 3, Scene 8. Where the strangers come from. Whence the strangers come, you could also say. This is a mausoleum. Or crypt. Or something. Oh. I hear Junebug. Oh, I'm getting control. Whoops. We're out. Why are we in a graveyard? Well, This can't be right. Looks like an old church. It's muddy. Yeah, that's what he said. Crystals and then mud. Okay. I want to stay outside. Why? I think I saw a lizard. I'll stay with him. Okay. We'll make it quick. Where's Johnny? We've got Junebug with us. Where's... Oh. That's a lot of things to click on. An epitaph is engraved on the stone in grave marker. Sarah Wirt. Generous disposition will be missed. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT8191-T. Fill date, June 29th. Notes of almond. Excuse me? What? Somebody written tasting notes on graves? That's horrific. I hope I didn't have to write that down. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. John Sietsma and Nico Harto. We think you two would really have liked each other. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT-8192-B. Fill date, July 24th. Weird finish. Oh, God, it is tasting notes. Oh, Jesus. An epitaph is engraved. Yeah, that's fine. Kyle Pinches. Always had a far-off look. Probably still does. Below the inscription, note is written in white chalk. HT-8192-E. Fill date, August 1st. Aftertaste of rainwater. This is actually horrific. Who is tasting these bodies? And why? Jonathan Rickman or Paolo Pedercini. Below the inscription, note is written in white chalk. HT8192-N. Fill date, September 8th. Sweet and fungal. Mikkel Angayu Rasmussen would have wanted it this way. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT-8192-Q. Fill date, September 9th. Maple turpentine. Oh my lord. Joe Hughes. Should have said something. Fill date, November 1st. Sense of foreboding. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Unknown. Seemed reasonable. I love these. Fill date, November 2nd. Easy on the nose. Let's go talk to Junebug, who has the world's greatest name. Find any lizards? One, but it went under a rock. That's lizards for you. Why do you dress like a punk? A punk? Now, what's a punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug, specifically. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night, and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You've just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half foot shorter and all grey, no eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. A bunch of grey shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over. And we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road. Just these two featureless shadows. And ever since that night, we've been detailing, colouring in, specifying. They're robots. I feel more like myself every day. I feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there. Now you're getting specific. She's cool. Oh, hello, Conway. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. Doesn't matter. Phone, I swear to God. Stop making noises. Switch it off. There we go. Sorry about that. Doesn't matter. Right, okay. We got what we need. Let's go. What happened in the church? Act 3. Scene 9. Hall of the Mountain King. Still haven't heard that song yet. Talk to Donald again. Singing softly. Trace an orbit round the road and close your eyes with holy dread. For we on mold and whiskey fed and drank from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh! Soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to unplug it for a while. You say you need to type in a specific phrase or restore it. They say you need to scrape the mold off and the timing crystals. But the mold? Of course! Too much mold on the timing crystal would send the simulation adrift. Each moment lived out of sync. By all means, yes! Clean the timing crystal! Yeah, okay. How do we do that? I mean, I'm all down for cleaning the timing crystal. Also, what the fuck was that noise? It sounded like a scream. It might have just been Junebug's legs, though. Alright. I'm gonna just hop out and turn my volume down again. Just a touch so that we don't all lose our ears. Do you see anything that looks like a timing crystal? Yeah, right here behind the control panel. It's filthy. Right, we're supposed to scrape off this black moldy stuff. Weird. Just following instructions. Here we go.